Hey friends, this is the first video in a new section about movie and TV news. Your feedback is really important to me. Write in the comments what you think about this idea. Support the video with a like if you want more, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. Today we'll explore why one expensive sci-fi film after another is failing at the box office. What interesting leaks have emerged about Fallout Season 2? Also news about another game series, God of War. Its creators are already guaranteeing multiple episodes. And of course, we can't forget to mention China, which has released one of the highest grossing films in history. You're watching Film Mix, and these are the most interesting updates from the world of movies and TV shows recently. Warner Brothers seems to have decided not to take risks and buried all hopes for theatrical success of the film Mickey 17. Sources at Wentstream report that the premiere on digital platforms will take place on March 25th, just a couple of weeks after its theatrical release. This decision looks like an attempt to somehow recoup the huge budget of $118 million. Current worldwide box office numbers fully confirm the predictions of skeptical critics. Audiences are buying tickets extremely reluctantly and have only contributed about $50 million to the creators' coffers. That covers at most 1/6 of the costs. Neither Robert Pattinson's participation nor the hyped name of director Bong Joon-ho from Parasite could save this story from failure. So what went wrong? According to reviews, the film faced two main problems. First, plot inconsistencies. Critics on Rotten Tomatoes gave the film 78% freshness, which sounds good, but many noted that the script suffers from noticeable jumps and insufficient depth. Although the story idea sounds intriguing, the main character, Mickey Barnes, is a very peculiar character who finds himself in extraordinary circumstances. He works for an employer who demands incredible dedication. In fact, Mickey has to die to make a living. Yes, this is precisely the case where work literally kills. Sounds like an excellent foundation for a film, right? But apparently the execution didn't live up to expectations. The second reason, the science fiction genre isn't a niche that automatically guarantees success, especially if the story is too complex or doesn't emotionally engage enough. Warner Brothers obviously expected a hit, but instead got just a hole in their wallet. Mickey 17 has become another example of how even big names and ambitious ideas don't always guarantee success. Bong Joon-ho, who won an Oscar for Parasite, has faced such a large-scale failure in his career for the first time. The digital release on March 25th might be the last attempt to save the project. If viewers decide to give the film a second chance at least at home, perhaps it will finally find its audience. But for now, it seems that Mickey 17 will be remembered more as an example of mishandling science fiction. Are you planning to watch it digitally? Share your thoughts in the comments. Recently, interesting footage from the set of Fallout's second season leaked online. You can see carefully recreated sets of the post-apocalyptic New Vegas, which appeared briefly in the first season finale, but only from a distance. And considering that the characters are heading there, it makes perfect sense that New Vegas will become the setting in the continuation. So this might be a controlled leak from Amazon themselves, working on the adaptation. Either way, in the short video we see the city in its pre-destruction state, indicating a second timeline in the past before the war began, just like in the first season. There's still no exact release date for the series, because after the writers' strike and the fire in Los Angeles, the schedule has clearly shifted. And if it was previously expected to release in spring 2026, now it's more likely to be the end of that year. James Cameron has always known how to touch hearts. Titanic made millions cry when the ship hit the iceberg. The ending of Terminator 2, where the robot raises his thumb in molten lava, became legendary even for the toughest hearts, and the first two Avatar films repeatedly broke emotional records, from the destruction of the home tree to the death of... No, we'll stay quiet here to avoid spoilers. Apparently, Avatar, Fire and Ash will become the most heartbreaking of them all. The story about how the director tested the film on his wife Susie Amos speaks for itself. According to Cameron himself, Susie watched a rough cut on December 22nd last year and was completely emptied out. She saw the whole film in one go. I didn't show her separate pieces during work on the project. She stayed away from it, the director explains. What happened? She cried for 4 hours. Cameron couldn't even get specific feedback from his wife. She tried to gather her thoughts to tell me her impressions, but each time she started crying again. Eventually I said, "Honey, I'm going to bed. Sorry, we'll talk about this another time." He laughs. Susie Amos Cameron, although having a deeper connection to the Avatar story than ordinary viewers, is considered an excellent indicator of success. As the director adds, she has always accurately predicted audience reactions to Titanic, Avatar, and Avatar 2, so he trusts her feelings. If you thought you'd already shed all your tears on previous installments, prepare for a new flood. Cameron is confident that the public will cry so hard that even Payakan, the Sully family's sea creature companion, could swim in these oceans of tears. The premiere of Avatar: Fire and Ash is scheduled for late 2025. Going back to failures in the world of science fiction, the amount spent by Bong Joon-ho on Mickey 17 turns out to be extremely modest when compared to what was invested in this project. Brothers Anthony and Joe Russo, known for Marvel blockbusters like Avengers Endgame, are returning to the superhero universe, leaving behind a rather controversial legacy on Netflix, the sci-fi action film The Electric State. With a budget exceeding $320 million, this film has become one of the streaming platform's most expensive projects. And judging by the reviews, it may also become one of the most spectacular failures in the director's careers. The film premiered a week ago, and the first critics' reviews were, to put it mildly, disappointing. On the Rotten Tomatoes aggregator, the unspoiled rating fell to 14%. Even for journalists who are usually tolerant of blockbusters, The Electric State became a real disappointment. What are top critics writing? If you thought the film would at least be memorable, it's not. The only thing that remains after watching is a feeling of losing 2 hours of your life. Imagine a world where there are only monotonous characters without charisma, depth, or motivation. A dystopian version of The Wizard of Oz where all the characters are tin men. The film tries to convince viewers that it's talking about important things, about technology, prejudices, human connections. But in reality, it's just a set of cliches wrapped in special effects. For hundreds of millions of dollars, viewers received a moral that could be stated in one sentence: virtual reality bad, live communication good. Very bold, very original. Previously, the Russos had already worked with Netflix on The Gray Man, starring Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. Despite its $200 million budget, that project received only 45% on Rotten Tomatoes and couldn't become the start of a film series as planned. It seems The Electric State will be another example showing that streaming platforms aren't yet ready to compete with Hollywood studios in the blockbuster genre. For the Russo brothers, understandably, this isn't the end. As we've already said, they've returned to Marvel where new Avengers projects await them. But The Electric State will surely remain in history as one of the most expensive and simultaneously most failed films on streaming. And for Netflix, this could be a lesson. Sometimes it's better to invest in quality scripts than in special effects and star names. Netflix has shown the debut trailer for the new season of the cult series Black Mirror, and it promises to be as dark, provocative, and captivating as we love. And this, it must be said, isn't just a continuation. It's a return to a familiar, yet simultaneously new world of technological dystopia. The focus is on 6 episodes, 2 of which, according to creator Charlie Brooker, can be considered feature-length films. The mood of the series will radically vary from dark comedy to heavy depressive drama. Such contrast, according to the creators, will make each story unique and unpredictable. One of the main intrigues of the season is the return of familiar characters. Kristen Milioti, known from the USS Callister episode of the 4th season, will reprise her role as Nanette Cole. Along with her, other members of the spaceship crew will return, particularly James Walton and Elena Talaska, aka Jimmy Simpson and Malanka Brooks. That episode, as a reminder, was a parody of Star Trek and told the story of cruel programmer Robert Daly, who designed a virtual reality for his digital clones colleagues. But that's not all. Will Poulter and Asim Chaudhry, stars of the interactive film Bandersnatch, will also appear in the new season. Bandersnatch became an experimental project for the franchise where viewers could influence the development of events. Charlie Brooker noted that the new season will be another bold step for the series. Ronald D. Moore, known for rebooting Battlestar Galactica and the series For All Mankind, revealed new details about the upcoming serial adaptation of God of War. In a recent episode of KT Sackhoff's podcast, he shared that the Amazon project has already received a guarantee for at least 2 seasons. The series will be based on the plot of the 2018 game of the same name, which became a turning point in the franchise's history. Forget about ancient Greece. Now the action unfolds in the harsh, snowy landscapes of the Scandinavian kingdom of Midgard. The main character, former Spartan Kratos, tries to start a new life with his son Atreus, but the local gods, as usual, don't leave him alone. What should we expect from the series? If you think it'll just be a story about a father teaching his son to chop enemies with an axe, you're mistaken. According to Moore, the series will preserve the spirit of the game but add more depth to the characters and their relationships. Special attention will be paid to the interaction between Kratos and Atreus, as well as their conflicts with powerful Scandinavian gods. Although plot details are still kept secret, we can assume that viewers will see familiar locations such as the Mountain of the Nine Worlds and key characters including Odin, Thor, and Loki. And of course, there will be signature bloody battles. For Amazon, this project could become another major bet in the world of fantasy and action series. As for Ronald D. Moore, his participation inspires certain confidence. This man knows how to create epic stories with deep plots. His work on the mentioned Battlestar Galactica and For All Mankind showed that he knows how to breathe new life into familiar worlds. However, not everything is so rosy. Already now, game fans are nervously rubbing their hands, fearing that the series won't be able to convey the same atmosphere and emotional depth that made the game so special. After all, it's one thing to play as Kratos and feel every axe strike, and quite another to observe this from the sidelines. While the premiere date remains a mystery, it's already clear that the project will be one of the most ambitious in Amazon's history. If everything works out, we might see an entire God of War universe on screens. The action thriller Carry On took second place among Netflix's most popular projects, surpassing the satirical sci-fi hit from 2021, Don't Look Up, with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. According to what's on Netflix, the project garnered 171.5 million views, pushing its predecessor to third place. The first position is held by the comedy action film Red Notice with Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot, which counts 230 million views. The film premiered on the platform on December 13th last year and immediately attracted audience attention. Taron Egerton transformed into Ethan Kopech, a Los Angeles airport security officer who decides to prove himself on Christmas Eve. However, his plans fall apart when an unknown perpetrator blackmails him, demanding to let dangerous cargo aboard a plane in exchange for the life of the main character's pregnant girlfriend. Screenwriter TJ Fixman noted the film's success on social media, 171.5 million views. With them, our project became the second most popular feature release on Netflix in history. Thank you to everyone who supported us, it's just incredible. Sophia Carson, who performed one of the key roles, called the achievement beyond the wildest dreams. The success of Carry On once again proves that story-driven thrillers continue to win viewers' hearts. Have you already had a chance to check out this thriller? Write in the comments. On March 8th, the final trailer for the second season of The Last of Us was released, and it has already become a true phenomenon. According to Warner Bros. Discovery, the video collected 158 million views across several platforms, making it the most viewed trailer among all original HBO Max projects. Moreover, the video surpassed previous show trailers in popularity by 160%. As a reminder, the first season of the series tells the story of Joel and Ellie traveling across post-apocalyptic America, hoping to find salvation for humanity. The second season delves deeper into the complex relationships between characters and explores the consequences of their decisions. Interestingly, 28 days later, screenwriter Alex Garland called The Last of Us a more interesting work than his own film. In an interview from Sony, he admitted that Neil Druckmann's work impressed him with its complexity and cinematic quality. I consider The Last of Us an outstanding work, both as a screenwriter and as a gamer. The game's pace, dialogues, visual style, all of this inspired me to create my next film. What is this next film, 28 years later? It will appear on screens on June 20th this year. Fans of the genre are already eagerly awaiting the continuation of the story about the viral catastrophe that destroyed Great Britain. Perhaps Garland will even pick up some fans from the Last of Us audience, which apparently is only expanding. Columbia Pictures apparently decided that one adaptation of Robert Heinlein's Starship Troopers isn't enough. Now Neil Blomkamp, the director known for District 9 and Elysium, is taking on the project. He won't just direct the film, but also write the screenplay. And if you think this is just another reboot, well, yes, that's exactly what it is. But let's not jump to conclusions. At the center of the plot is an interstellar war between humanity and a race of intelligent arachnids that look more like a nightmare from a sci-fi thriller. The main character, Johnny Rico, is a simple guy who dreams of gaining full citizenship status. In the future world, this isn't just a bureaucracy issue. To become a citizen, you need to serve in the army. And then the fun begins. Mobile infantry, combat exoskeletons, and war with an enemy who doesn't even try to understand humans. Heinlein's novel, by the way, is considered one of the founding works of military science fiction. Its influence is noticeable in projects such as Aliens, but adapting his text to the screen isn't an easy task. The first attempt was made by Paul Verhoeven in 1997, but as is known, Verhoeven barely read the book and shot his own vision filled with satire, grotesque, and special effects. The film became cult, but its fidelity to the original leaves much to be desired. Now we have a chance to see a version closer to the text with combat suits, tactical operations, and philosophical reflections on citizenship, war, and human nature, if, of course, modern filmmakers really want to follow the spirit of the book. What could go wrong? Neil Blomkamp is a talented director, but his approach to science fiction has often received mixed reviews. District 9 was brilliant, but Elysium turned out to be too straightforward. If he decides to add social criticism or political metaphors to the story, it could either strengthen the film or make it overly heavy for perception. Additionally, there's a risk of repeating past mistakes. For example, if the creators decide to modernize the plot by adding unnecessary effects or characters, this could disappoint fans of the book. But if everything works out, we'll see a powerful combat epic with deep subtext. Space bugs that don't just scare but also make you think about how humans interact with alien intelligence. Disney has released the first trailer for the Lilo and Stitch remake, and it has already gathered considerable attention. The premiere is scheduled for May 23rd, and the creators promise a fresh look at the story of friendship between a little girl and a destructive alien. This time, the story of Lilo and Stitch has been transferred from the world of animation to reality. And if you think it's just an exact copy of the cartoon, well, almost. The screenwriters, of course, tried to preserve the spirit of the original. For example, Stitch will still speak with the voice of Chris Sanders, who voiced him in the animated film. The director is Dean Fleischer Camp, who decided to take responsibility for ensuring fans don't get too upset. Although, honestly, the chances of that are slim, because when it comes to reimagining a cult animated film, someone will always be dissatisfied. The authors are clearly trying to attract a new generation of viewers by adding more action and special effects. In interviews, Disney representatives try to emphasize that the remake will preserve all the key moments of the story while offering viewers something new. We wanted to show that the friendship between Lilo and Stitch isn't just a beautiful fairy tale, but something deeper, the director stated. Sounds inspiring, but as they say, trust but verify, especially when it comes to Disney, which hasn't always hit the mark with its remakes lately. It looks like Tom Holland has found a new partner for the fourth Spider-Man film, and it's Sadie Sink. While details of the role are being kept secret, fans have already started building theories. One of the most popular suggests that Sink might embody Jean Grey, the legendary X-Men heroine whose previous interpretations belong to Famke Janssen and Sophie Turner. As a reminder, Zendaya, Holland's previous partner as MJ, will appear in the new film only episodically. The reason is simple: the actress is busy filming the third part of Dune, so the place of Peter Parker's main girl will now probably be taken by Sadie Sink. The 22-year-old actress became known for her role as Max in the series Stranger Things, which is about to end with its final season. Additionally, she was featured in Taylor Swift's short film All Too Well and is preparing for the release of the musical Odessa. Her participation in Spider-Man 4 came as a real surprise, especially considering her young age. While details of the script for the fourth Spider-Man are kept secret, it's safe to assume that Marvel will continue exploring the multiverse. In the finale of No Way Home, Peter Parker erased himself from the memory of his loved ones to save them. Now his story will likely focus on new allies and enemies. Interestingly, the director's chair this time is occupied by Destin Daniel Cretton, known for the distinctive film Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The film's premiere is scheduled for July 31st, 2026, and it promises to be one of the most anticipated blockbusters of the decade. The release date was moved to avoid a clash with Christopher Nolan's Odyssey, another major project of the summer season. If the Jean Grey theory is confirmed, it will be another step toward integrating the X-Men into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Lionsgate isn't saying goodbye to John Wick. Despite the fourth film ending very dramatically, the studio is already working on a fifth part. This was confirmed by Jennifer Brown, Lionsgate's vice president, during the John Wick Experience event. "This world continues to grow and expand at an incredible pace," Brown noted. "We're preparing the first spin-off Ballerina, which will soon hit screens. Of course, we confirmed the development of a fifth John Wick film, and I'm sure we'll see even more spin-offs, series, and even video games." But there's one catch. Keanu Reeves, the face of the franchise, has repeatedly stated that his character's story is complete. "I got the perfect ending," the actor said. The idea of putting on the black suit again doesn't seem very appealing to him. However, in the film industry, such words rarely mean much. If the studio offers a convincing plot and a worthy fee, even dead heroes can be resurrected. But generally, Lionsgate has several options for continuation. For example, a prequel, the story of young John Wick just beginning his journey in the world of killers. Here, they could manage with a new actor, or a fake death. Perhaps Wick staged his demise in the finale of the fourth part. Such a twist would be quite in line with the franchise, where death is a relative concept. And finally, a new hero. The franchise could focus on another character, and John Wick's name would become a legend carried by new heroes. Apparently, Lionsgate sees John Wick not just as a series of films, but as an entire ecosystem. Each new project, be it a movie, series, or game, adds depth to a world where killers live by their own rules, and each murder is an art form. The question is whether viewers are ready to accept a new story without Keanu Reeves. And that's it for today's news. Thank you for watching till the end. Write in the comments how you like this format and whether we should continue. Also, be sure to support the video with a like and subscribe to the channel. See you soon in new videos.